the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We're streaming on all social media platforms at Keys to the City. So comment, like, subscribe, follow, or share. Ted, I'm giving you a little trivia right off the bat, so you got to pay attention right here.
Talk to me.
Who is, from the movie, it's a movie, who is the character Chip Diller?
From what movie?
It's from a movie. It's from a movie that we have. There's a famous quote. Chip Diller. You gotta give me one chance. You gotta give me one option.
Not a clue.
Okay.
I don't know who Chip Diller is.
Okay. Well, Chip Diller is Kevin Bacon in Animal House. And he has a famous line in this movie that we all like to say, Ted. All is well. Remain calm. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what's been going on in the sports world has been complete insanity. You think about what's happened in the NFL with all the moves. Khalil Mack last week. Amari Cooper going to the Browns. We didn't even get to discuss that. Brady coming back. We're going to talk about that. Deshaun Watson could be going to a new team. There's so much going on. Also, baseball is back. We talked about it last week. Now we got free agency going as well. And then also in the NBA, we got players scoring, Ted, 50-plus points like it's easy now. We got LeBron James with multiple 50-point games. Jason Tatum with a 50-point game. Kevin Durant was the latest 50-point club guy or be added to that club. So as Kevin Bacon, Chip Diller in Animal House once said, all is well, remain calm. It has been unbelievable what's been going on in the sports world right now. And we haven't even talked about, Ted. We like to say this month is called Madness. Well, it's been Madness. We haven't even talked about that in the next couple days. In 3 days, the most exciting 3 weeks possibly of the whole entire sports calendar year will begin as NCAA March Madness 2022 starts tomorrow, I should say. But really, we all know it really starts on Thursday and Friday. Ted, you look at what's been going on in the sports world right now, and we got to talk baseball, and we were going to talk about Yankees baseball because we wanted to figure out, since baseball's been back in the groove of things, what were the Yankees going to do? What are the moves that they going to do? Try to compete. We know where this Yankee team has been at, and Joseph Aguirre will be joining us in a few to discuss.
I got the trade details for the Atlanta trade too.
All right, well, hold on for 1 sec. That was one of the trades that we were thinking, and one of the guys that we were hoping maybe that would be a New York Yankee. It is Matt Olsen, first baseman of the Oakland Athletics, going to the Atlanta Braves for.
Oakland will receive outfielder Christian Patch, catcher Shea Lagares, starting pitcher Ryan Kuzak, and starting pitcher Joey Estes. What that means to me is no significant starter on the team, all probably top prospects in Atlanta's, minor league system. Hey, they didn't want to pay Freddie Freeman. I know that was the talk. Freddie Freeman wanted 6 years. Braves only wanted 5 years. I don't know. I think it's deservingly so. Freddie Freeman has done everything you would ever want in a first baseman. He's homegrown. He's been there forever. I just don't get it. Why give up all those prospects for a guy in Matt Olsen when Freddie Freeman is just as good, if not better? And he's your guy. He's, other than Acuna, he's your face of your franchise. So What that means to me now is, do the Yankees think about going for a guy like that? Now, it's going to cost big money. The big team in which we always feel like anytime there's a big player out there, do the Dodgers go get him? Jesus, how many more players can the Dodgers just make the NL All-Star team the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Here's another team that people should be aware of. It's a New York team, the New York Mets. They had talked to Freddie Freeman a little bit before all the lockout and all the BS kind of happened on December 2nd. Mets would make a lot of sense. He would bring so much value to them. Now that they have the universal DH, Pete Alonso can now be their DH. Freddie Freeman would be their Gold Glove first baseman. That would definitely bring balance to that lineup. Especially with the pitching staff that the Mets are going to bring to this season.
Yeah, this baseball season,
and by doing that, you also take away from the Braves.
This baseball season has really been, well, we all know this. It was a 99-day lockout, and we knew once the moment that baseball became a reality for baseball fans, it was going to be hot and running hot. That's how it's been for baseball. It's been continuously going, and we all know the big names are going to be moving. The big name today is Matt Olsen. Still, we don't know what's going to go on with Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, Nick Castellanos. We have other guys like that are still on the market in this free agent class. So there's a lot going on. But one of the big news and one of the big teams that we always talk about, we're Yankee fans, is the New York Yankees. And we were expecting that Matt Olsen could be a New York Yankee. One of the favorites to be the landing spot for Matt Olsen was the Dodgers, was the Braves, and the New York Yankees. It eventually became an Atlanta Brave reality to add to maybe trying to add to a repeat title as they are the defending champs. But the Yankees were associated with that name, Matt Olsen. And they've been looking. Well, they made a big trade last night at about 11 o'clock, a trade that
Christian Kirk.
it really got me confused, Ted. It kind of just was not what I was. We knew the Yankees were going to make a trade. We knew that they were in desperate need of some sort of change. But I don't think we all knew it was going to be this trade. And the trade was Gary Sanchez alongside Gio Urshela, shortstop / third baseman for the New York Yankees, a reliable defensive cornerstone for this New York Yankee team, is going to the Minnesota Twins for former MVP Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Ben Rortvedt. So you see this trade. This was a bit of a surprise, Ted, a huge surprise to us because we didn't expect this to happen. But what this trade happening, what does it mean for the Yankees now and moving forward, knowing that there's still a lot of pieces that need to be filled on this roster?
I was shocked with the trade last night. I saw it. Did I tell you first? Or did you tell me? I forget who told each other. I don't know if you saw the private chat I just sent you. Jags are signing Christian Kirk on NFL Breaking News. Not that that's a huge move, but it's another significant move to make the Jaguars better. But getting back to the question, what does it mean? I don't know what it means. It means the Gary Sanchez, soap opera is over. I mean, I wish Joe was here because, Joe has really stuck up for him the past seasons. He's always talking about how he's the best catcher in baseball, and you and me.
Well, I see him in the corner. I see him on the bottom. It says device not connected. So he is trying to get on.
He's probably trying to connect via his phone. But with that being said, maybe the coffee fell on.
Yeah, maybe he had a little coffee issue.
What's more disappointing for Yankee fans is the Gio show. I think a lot of Yankee fans had a sense of love for Gio. We connect with certain of these players. I think Gio was really beloved as a Yankee player. Great third baseman. Last year he even played shortstop for us. I know he's been hurt the past couple seasons, on and off dealing with injuries. Really, this was a financial move for the Twins to get out of the $50 million that they still owe Josh Donaldson. As a hitter, he's still one of the better hitters in baseball. I mean, you can go look up his chart rates, and when he does make contact, I mean, he squares up the ball. He still hit 26 home runs last year. He's still a pretty good defensive third baseman. I mean, I don't really know what to take of it other than I think it was more about getting Gary Sanchez out and the Twins saving $50 million. Eventually, what they did with the movement of the pieces, they end up saving $30 million in cap, which will help them pay Sonny Gray, which they just traded for. The Twins are making a lot of moves this offseason. I think for the Yankees, it's just trying to find some pieces in that puzzle to just connect, try to get something changed. The Gary Sanchez thing has not panned out.
It did not pan out. They ultimately did not pan out for the New York Yankees, and that was one of the rising stars that many believed in the New York media and in the baseball world, that Gary Sanchez was going to be a star for the New York Yankees and a star in this league. But he has taken a drastic step backwards, and to see that where he started in his rookie season, having 20 home runs in only 40 games in his rookie season, was incredible to see. So seeing his play in the field kind of deteriorating throughout his career, and to see that this was long overdue, and like you said it, Ted, and you could call whatever you wanted to call, it was like a soap opera because we didn't know. It was kind of like the Brett Favre thing, in the sense of like, was Gary Sanchez going to come back, or were the Yankees going to trade him and say that the time has come? It is time to move on from Gary Sanchez. And to see this trade happen, I didn't expect that the New York Yankees were going to. Oh wow, nice. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, just keep giving me those updates, by the way. And well, as I was saying, you see this trade and Donaldson, yeah, to get a guy like Donaldson, yeah, maybe 3-4 years ago would have been nice, but it's a move that's very confusing for me unless there's a plan moving forward. The Yankees, here's my only thing that I take away. Everybody that's upset, oh no, we're not going to get Story, we're not going to get Carlos Correa. Well, who knows what the Yankees' plan all along was. We knew it was going to be to try to find a shortstop, but realistically, was it going to be spending big bucks on another big time player? Like, was that what the Yankees were going to do?
Well, former manager for the Blue Jays said, and I'm just quoting off right here, John Gibbons and Josh Johnson of the Yankees, he will give them that edge I think they need. He gave us that when he first came to Toronto. We needed some toughness and more emotion. So that's something that you and me, Trev, personally have talked about on the show. That sometimes the Yankees feel blocked. They don't have a rah-rah guy. They don't have an excitement guy. They don't have someone that feels like it's uplifting. Listen, Josh Johnson's a player. I mean, he was a 2015 MVP for the Toronto Blue Jays. I remember when he played for the A's. I remember for the Blue Jays. He was always a nemesis for the Yankees. I know the Yankees, though, you think about this. Josh Donaldson had some comments about Garrett Cole last year about the win rate, and there were some issues with that. Read that, Cashman had called Cole. Hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. Everything's fine. They talked it out. Everything's good. I mean, hey, listen. At the end of the day, I don't think the Yankees are going to make a big splash. And when I mean that, I don't think they're going to hit the Freddie Freeman thing. I don't think they hit the Carlos Correa, Trevor Story. I have no problem if they did. I would look forward to it. I think every Yankee fan, hey, listen, we want the big names, right? We're the New York Yankees. We don't care about money. It's not our money, right? I think it's about filling the gaps and trying to change some of the things. And, Aaron Boone had said last year, I think we can win with the guys that we have. Well, that really hasn't panned out. So what's got to change? We just got to find some missing pieces, right? I mean, we got to be healthy. We got to get Severino and Cole healthy all year round. We got to get more production or better. We got to get better as a catcher, right? The big thing with Gary Sanchez was his defense, right? I think we would have been more accepting of Gary Sanchez's defense if he was a 30 home run guy and he was batting closer to 250, 260 and not 225. Joe would probably be like, oh, he batted 2. It's like not good enough. He's too inconsistent. You can't have 9 strikeouts and 1 home run. It's not consistently good enough. I know the baseball game has tremendously changed. It's strikeout, it's walk, and it's home run. There's not a lot of action a lot of the times. I don't know, bring the bongo bat out. I don't know, do something, but something has to change. The Yankees had an issue with Gary Sanchez. It's not like something that just brewed overnight. This was something that we have literally been talking about since we did the show 4 years ago at CSB.
Yeah, and that's the thing. 4 years ago, that's when you felt like it was peak Gary Sanchez, kind of like very similar. I mean, if you really want to go in that direction, you could resemble Gary Sanchez to this New York Yankees team, Ted. Because you think about how 2016 was. It was a fantastic year by Gary Sanchez, but a year that you felt like the Yankees were going in a different direction in the sense of, oh, maybe this could be a rebuild type situation. The following year, Sanchez has one of his better years with the Yankees. He delivers one of the better moments in Yankees history against the Astros in that ALCS. And you felt like this team was on the cusp of something special, something great, a new core for the New York Yankees. And that was a big part because we thought Gary Sanchez was going to be one of the main contributors to that future. And it was the complete opposite. I know we always talk about Gary Sanchez on this show, and we have for many, many occasions with Joe, with us, with other people in the sense of what he brought to the Yankees, what he meant to the Yankees, and how polarizing he was as a New York Yankee during his time. Whether you loved him or you hate him, he's a guy that you can say had all the talent in the world to be something special. And I know everybody wants to bash him because he was lazy and all of this, yada, yada, yada. But this man had potential. And I always like to say it. Sometimes the best medicine is a change of scenery. And maybe this can be for Sanchez. And I'll get to Gio in a sec, but maybe this for Sanchez is a change of scenery and it could be a blessing in disguise for him. I know you think about it. I'm getting traded from the New York Yankees to the Minnesota Twins.
But that could be good because there's no pressure in Minnesota. And
that's what I'm trying to say is that, the change of scenery.
If I may say this is a quote from Garrett Cole today about Josh Johnson. If you're committed to winning a championship, this kind of stuff doesn't matter. He said the two spoke since the deal and has called it a very productive conversation. So that's just quoting from Cole. I know you were getting into the Gio. Listen,
No, it's not even that.
Listen, at the end of the day, are the Yankees better? We won't know that until the season starts. Gary Sanchez, listen,
I think for me,
we know what he could be.
I don't think the Sanchez thing. Look. I feel like this was long overdue. It's just who was going to be the other partner, the trade partner that was going to say yes. I will take Gary Sanchez. It ended up becoming the Minnesota Twins. To me, about this trade, what makes this whole trade confusing is one single player. It's Gio Urshela. Why? The man was the backbone to a defense that on that side specifically struggled many of times because of their shortstop play. But you always had Mr. Reliable. You had a gold glover, a legit gold glover. He was up there with a guy like Nolan Arenado, a Matt Chapman, Alex Bregman type defensive player. Not maybe all around, but he was he was one of the better players and consistent players for the New York Yankees once he became an official part of that New York Yankees main roster. I know he got a little small deal. It was a cheap deal. He got traded. He got nothing. Gio Urshela was supposed to be just some utility guy, and he became a guy that was a big component and a major key to this New York Yankees foundation.
Well,
and I really feel like we haven't had a
time the past 2 seasons, though.
I was about to say I know he's dealt with injuries, but I always felt like we always needed it felt like another captain. And I really like to say, Aaron Judge looks like he's the main guy. Of course, faces franchise. I always felt like Gio Urshela could have been that guy.
No.
I don't know. It just felt like
he had the heart, he had the soul. But
I know everybody likes to say Judge, but to see Gio go, and I know it's crazy because he's Gio. He had 2 good years. Who knows? He might. It was just like a little a feel good moment. Let's just say it was a feel good moment, and then he goes somewhere else and he doesn't become the player that the Yankees had for those couple years. We don't know that. We don't know how this trade's going to work out. But the Yankees did say they were looking for a shortstop. It might have not been the shortstop that Yankee fans were hoping for. I know people coming into the season, we have Baez, we got Simeon, we have Trevor Story, we have Carlos Correa, we had Corey Seager, all these guys at the Yankees, we all thought legit had a chance to become a shortstop. The Yankees' plan was to go get a shortstop. It just wasn't the guy that they were expecting it to be. My whole thing from this trade, confusing because of the part of Gio Urshela. It feels like a Yankee move from 2000, from that 2004 to 2009 or 2009 range, where they just went after the big name, Donaldson, a big name. That's what he's become. Josh Donaldson, no matter how like it or not, he's become one of the bigger names of baseball. And I felt like this was just a move because of the name. I know that there was a need for a shortstop, and they made that. But I think Josh Donaldson, because of the name, was a big part of this trade.
Well, here's the other thing. So we take the whole trade. Now we're talking a lot about that stuff. So here's the thing. What you do get to out of this is you get the kid Kiner Falafel, who's 26, right? He was a Gold Glover at third base, and he moved to shortstop. So he's going to be our starting shortstop. So
it'll be like Angelo Simmons.
So the Gleyber Torres experiment for the Yankees is over at shortstop. All right, what the Yankees do with Gleyber down the road, we'll see what happens if he stays on team. Maybe he plays a little second base. Maybe DJ goes to first, and they don't make that move. And maybe that's our team. Maybe it's DJ, Gleyber, the kid kind of out, and Donaldson at third. At catcher now, listen, you bring in this kid, what's his name? Ben Revere, right? Now he's a lefty swinging catcher. If you've seen the picture of him, he's jacked, bro. He's jacked. But he's also the Yankees had hired the catching coach from the Twins, and they brought him over, so he has had experience with Ben Revere. So maybe that played in a part, bringing the catcher. And the Yankees should be a better catching staff defensively. They're not going to be a better hitting team. But at the end of the day, they shouldn't have to be when you have guys like DJ and Gleyber and Stan and Judge.
Stan,
and Donaldson now. And so, we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, we won't know until midseason to see how this. Now, if Gary turns it up and plays the way we thought he was 3-4 years ago and from Minnesota, we're going to feel like, damn, we lost something. But hey, he had his opportunities as a New York Yankee. He had his opportunities.
That's what I'm saying is that he had many opportunities to deliver for the New York Yankees. And like I said, the best medicine sometimes is to change the scenery, to change a person's lifestyle, to change their happiness is sometimes needed. And guess what? Maybe this could be the best thing for Gary Sanchez moving forward. We don't know how this trade is going to impact the Yankees now or moving forward, unless what we've been hearing, are the Yankees done with making moves? We don't know yet, but the big move today is Matt Olsen going to the Atlanta Braves, one of the faces that we thought would be on the New York Yankees this coming season, but he's going to be an Atlanta Brave. So I think the Yankees should be looking at bullpen, trying to get another starter in that rotation. The offense is going to be what it is right now. I think they're going to run with this offense. I think they're going to run with what they have now. I think they need to go look at bullpen and a back-end rotation type player. Maybe a number 2, maybe a number 3. They need to help out Garrett Cole, and they got to add to that bullpen. But, Ted, there was also some other major news yesterday, and it was, well, kind of to no surprise, kind of like the Aaron Rodgers effect. To no surprise, Aaron Rodgers a week ago deciding, I'm going back to the Green Bay Packers. And we all felt like, okay, this will be a 2-team race in this NFC. And this, well, it seems like not so exciting NFC anymore as the AFC as a whole. And they ain't done yet, it looks like, this AFC conference. That's going to be a conference you're going to be wanting to sit down on Sundays and keeping your eye on it. But the NFC looks like, well, it was only going to be 2 teams. So who was it going to be? Was it going to be the Rams going back again, or was it the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers? Well, let's add one more team to that list because, to no surprise, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady is coming back for his 23rd season at the age of 45. He's going to be, and he says, as he stated, I'm not done yet. We have unfinished business. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have their guy, and the NFC just became now a 3-team race. So, Ted, when you look at this no surprise return, I feel like this is going to be the ongoing Brett Favre saga, where Brady's going to continue each and every offseason in the sense of, I'm done, or maybe he finally does. I just don't see this guy ever slowing down and not trying to get away from the game of football. So, Ted, when you look at this return of Tom Brady, what does it mean for the NFC, and what does it mean for the NFL as well?
Well, here's the bigger thing. So I was actually more surprised that Tom Brady retired. I really was. That was my shocker. The guy just threw for 5,400 yards and 43 touchdowns, or whatever it was, 40-something plus touchdowns. I was more shocked that he retired because I'm like, he's still elite, bro. He's still one of the best quarterbacks. He finished second in the MVP. If it wasn't for Rodgers' stellar season,
top 3 quarterback,
and the number 1 seed, Brady probably wins the MVP at 45 years old. He was still he keeps his body in such pristine shape. He does everything right. He doesn't get hit that much. You think about some of the older quarterbacks, Big Ben and Cam, and even Eli and Kurt Warner. You think about some of these quarterbacks, they got beat up at the end of their careers, and they just fell apart. He's in warmer Tampa. It's good for the body. You know how it is. Warmer weather makes your body feel a lot more better. He doesn't get beat up.
Look how handsome I am because of this.
Significant move in the sense that they just re-signed their center, Riley Jensen, which is huge. Got $13 million. He would have got paid much more so on the open market, but that's the Brady effect. Now they're going to bring back Gronk. What this does is, sorry, Aaron Rodgers, when you thought you had the easy road to the Super Bowl, it just got harder again for you, especially now that Devontae Adams doesn't want to play under the franchise tag, said he will not play under the franchise tag. What do the Packers do? They're going to have to release Darius Smith. What did the Packers – here's what it says.
Well, they just released Darius Smith, but they
did release him?
Yeah, they released Darius Smith.
All right. I saw the Bills just BJ Hill just got a 3-year deal for the Bengals, 3 years, $30 million, 15 guaranteed. So not bad for a guy who the Giants just dropped for nothing or traded for Carey Price. That didn't work out well. Another guy the Giants couldn't do anything with. I
love it. We're both on.
What this says is now it's really a 3-team race again. The Bucs are back into the Super Bowl category. They are going to bring back Chris Godwin. They're going to have Mike Evans. Listen, guys are willing to take pay cuts to play for Brady and win because they know with him they have an opportunity to win. And what
did you just say? Oh, did you see the Bills?
Yep, we signed a guard from the Titans.
That's how fast things are moving.
1-year deal. He's a Pro Bowl guard.
We're literally on our phones left and right because that's how fast everything's been going on right now in the sports world with baseball and with the NFL specifically, with both free agent periods going on at the same time. This is very unusual right now because that's why baseball fans, that's why sports fans, football fans, and like us included, are going absolutely insane right now because there's movement left and right every second. You're on.
Yeah,
If you're a sports fan, you're refreshing your phone. You're on Twitter right now. It's just nonstop, and we're used to at this time. You got to think why it's so different and unique because during this time. We're talking about spring training for baseball. We're about to be the season's about to. We're on the cusp of the season, 3 weeks away. Still, it's going to happen. But think about that in the sense of this time in sports right now, that what everything is happening and transpiring and how fast it's transpiring. And we haven't even talked about the NBA with the play of that, with the elite play of the elite talents and the teams and how that's coming down to crunch time, playoff time.
I mean, Durant had 53 yesterday against the Yanks.
Durant had 53. LeBron had multiple 50-point games. Jason Tatum. I mean, guys are just saying, "Hey, let's just have 50 tonight. Let's just do it." I mean, that's just crazy how insane, and I know everybody how crazy and insane sports has been going on right now. So, it's a great time, and we haven't even talked about March Madness.
Yeah,
and we all know how that is.
Now, getting back to the previous stuff that we talked about. The Braves gave away 4 of their top 14 prospects in the deal and their top 2. So that was those who were the prospects that I had mentioned before on our previous.
Here's my thing. Before I get back to my Brady point, if the Yankees were looking to get a third baseman / a shortstop player, and you were trying to get somebody like that at a more reasonable age too, should have just went to go see the A's. Tried to talk to Matt Chapman. They're trying to shop him as well. The A's are trying to go full of rebuild mode now.
Listen, I'm surprised the
Yankees get intrigued to go after Matt Chapman, who's a younger, more. I would say the ceiling is higher at this point than Donaldson is in his career right now. But seeing Brady coming back, it's no surprise. I would have been stunned. I would have been stunned if Brady was actually not playing this season. And what's it mean for the NFC? What's it mean for the NFC quickly? The NFC, well, it's a 3-team race. Realistically, you got the champs in there. The LA Rams, they're going to be in the same position as they are coming into last season. The Green Bay Packers are still going to be. Well, we're going to see how this whole Devontae Adams situation plays out.
Sure, if it lasted less than 2 months.
I know. 40 days.
Here's what I think. Here's the other thing.
The MLB lockout lasted longer than Tom Brady's retirement.
Here's what I think. I think Brady really didn't want to retire, but there was probably some pressure at home and some other stuff. He probably was getting antsy at home. The kids are getting older. They're probably like, "Dad, I'm not going to be hanging around with you all day." They're mid-teenagers and whatnot. And he was probably being more annoying, and his wife probably said, "You know what? Just go back to work. Like, get the hell out of the house."
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the other thing. If you want to go back to football stuff, and I don't know, I'm just having fun with this. He's probably looking at the NFC right now and going, "Oh my God, this is like playing in the AFC East again. It's wide open." The Packers are not going to be a better team next year. Yes,
hold on. However, things could get highly intriguing in the NFC, all depending on this whole Deshaun Watson. I know you might want to think otherwise or think differently than I feel, but this NFC can really, really take a different turn, all depending on the situation of Deshaun Watson and the team that he ends up landing at. So whether it's the Eagles, whether it's the Panthers, the Seahawks, the Saints, whether it's one of those 4 teams, somebody's going to get a top-end quarterback that hasn't even hit his prime and is going to get the best out of Deshaun Watson. So right now, this is a 3-team race. I don't consider right now Dallas. I feel like they've taken a major step back, trading to Amari Cooper. Look like they're going to get rid of DeMarcus Lawrence, getting rid of La'el Collins, and just a lot of bad contracts on this team. So I really feel like this is a 3-team race currently. But with Tom Brady coming back, well, the quest for 8 begins, I guess. Here we go again.
I mean, absolutely. When this is unfinished business. Listen, Joe said, I wish he was on, so he said he didn't think Brady was going to see it. I'm not shocked that he's coming back. I'm shocked at how soon he's coming back. But I think what he thought in his mind is, if I'm going to come back, unlike the guy up in Green Bay, I'm not going to be selfish. I got to hurry up and let Tampa Bay know, because what that means is Wednesdays, even though guys can sign it, they can't officially sign until Wednesday. in the NFL with free agency, even though today is the Tampa period and you're seeing all these things. Son Reddick signed with the Eagles, Brandon Shreve signed with the Jags. Christian Kirk could make up to $17 million for the Jags, which –
well, they said that he was going to accumulate almost close to 50, closer to 15 million per year. So
but here's the thing. You got all these moves. He's got to let the Bucs know, because this makes a big difference on what the Bucs do, what his former teammates do. It wasn't about money. He knew there was nowhere else where he was going to go. You know, there was talk maybe San Francisco, but realistically, San Francisco's like, they're not going to do that. They weren't going to do that.
They have their own quarterback situation to figure out.
They have to figure out. Bruce Arians and Tampa Bay's got to be ecstatic. I think he feels at home right there. And the Bucs are probably going to make it a pain in the, keister for Brady to be able to leave because he was still under contract. This just says, hey, listen, the Bucs are back in the Super Bowl bubble with the Rams, with the Packers, and we'll see what happens down the road. I'm excited for Brady back. He's still an excellent player. He's good for the NFL. It's something interesting because when you look at if you're an NFC guy, you look at the NFC like, what games interest you now? The Cowboys, whatever. The Cowboys will be on TV because they're the Cowboys, but who cares? The NFC North, it's the Packers.
I'm more intrigued right now to see who's going to be the NFC, who's going to be the Fox commentator.
Well, here's the other thing. You got to look at the South. There's no Breeze. The Falcons are atrocious. And what does Carolina do? Now, if they bring Watson, that'll be an interesting thing. The West, you still got the 49ers and the Rams, but Brady looks at it like, hey, listen, we could still win a Super Bowl. It's very good. Let the AFC beat up on each other, and
why not?
We can easily win. We can easily be the number one seed. All right. And I think it's like, hey, I can own Rodgers. I'm not.
They were the 2 seed last year. What makes you say they can? They're going to try
because with the Green Bay signing Rodgers, the contract he has.
Godwin, they're going to bring back Fournette.
But here's the other thing. With the contract that Rodgers signed, all that did was make Rodgers happy and did nothing for the team, the betterment of the team.
Yeah, now they're in a pit.
He got paid.
He got paid, but they're in a current bind now. Figure out this Devontae Adams because right now
not even Devontae. You can't bring back Zadarius Smith.
Hold on. But he's made it very clear that he does not want to be franchise tagged. So the Green Bay Packers are in a very, very tough sticky situation right now that could become even more messier if Devontae Adams does not get the money that, well, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, is well-deserving because he has established himself as the true number one receiver. I know people are going to say, well, Cooper Kupp, well, consistency matters in the NFL, and Devontae Adams has been doing it since he's become the go-to guy for Aaron Rodgers. That's why it's important for the Green Bay Packers. I know we say defense, that's fine, understandable. But you just got Aaron Rodgers back. Aaron Rodgers wants Devontae Adams.
And the Bengals just signed the guard from the Tampa Bay Bucks, Alex Kappa, on a 4-year contract.
Yeah, and then they signed the center from the Pats, Karras.
They tried to make a big run on Riley Jensen before that.
Ryan Jensen. Yeah, that's what they're going on there, and I expect that. That's what exactly this kind of teams that need moves like that. You're going to see them, especially a team like the Bengals. They got a lot of cap. They're going to go after They're going to go after players.
Well, that's what you can do when you have rookie quarterbacks under deals, just like the Chargers. Supposedly the Chargers are looking at J.C. Jackson, big free agent out of the Patriots. You get, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers go very defensive in this draft, because the way I look at it is here.
So screw it.
You got Joey Bosa. Bosa.
No, hold on. Listen, if you go, screw it. If you could get a J.C. Jackson, you lock up that cornerback position. You're getting a healthy Derwin James, a healthy Joey Bosa. You're getting Khalil Mack. Screw it, man. If I'm the Chargers, I'm saying to myself, you got some protection last year for him. Go add another receiver.
No, listen. Here's my thing. Go get another pass rusher. That Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack could be rested down the stretch, Trev.
Okay, great. But what I'm trying to say is go get some weapons too as well. Keenan Allen is getting a little older in age, but he's still one of the better receivers in this game. Mike Williams just gave out the big contract. Why don't you go get a speedster? A Garrett Wilson possibly, Chris Olave, Jameson Williams.
I'm not wasting.
They
can't stop the run. Can't stop. They couldn't stop the run last year. And here's the thing.
I know, but if they fill those positions where they do have money in the salary cap, they could go get these players. If you add a J.C. Jackson, you go add some interior defensive line help. Go get some help. Add some pieces to your offense. Your offense is already stacked. You already got a future superstar quarterback. Why don't you just go get some more weapons for him?
I'm going to
You already
solidify
see
that
the
defense, which was
you already
that
look-
was a big problem for them.
Hold on. And for a team like the Chargers, quickly, and we'll get more into this as this is only the beginning in the free agency / offseason period. You got to take into consideration this. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're still going to be competing for an AFC crown. The Denver Broncos just made a huge splash by going to get Russell Wilson. So you know that they're going all in and trying to be a top-tier contender in the AFC. As a Charger team that, you were just on the cusp of making the playoffs. You have a quarterback on a rookie deal. You have a superstar quarterback, I should say, on a rookie deal. You have a legit number one running back, one of the better dual threats in the game. You got Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams. You got Jared. Well, they don't have Jared Cook anymore, but they're going to need a tight end. Go add some more weapons. You gave them protection.
Like Evan Ingram?
Slater, Corey Linsley. And then you're going to possibly maybe get a J.C. Jackson. You just traded for Khalil Mack. Why don't you just go all in and add some pieces to an already star-studded team in a star-studded division? Might as well just make it that much tougher for a team like the Broncos or the Chiefs or even the Raiders. That's all I'm trying to say.
See, I can see them going defensive because you got to shore up that defensive line. It was an issue last season. Here's the other thing. Both Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa have dealt with injury concerns and other issues. Go get another pass rusher so that you can keep those guys refreshed. Because remember,
if anything, I would have
season. If we've learned anything as Giant fans is, why are we taking Matthias Kiwanuka? Why are we drafting? We already got pass rushers because you never have enough. If look at the Rams this year with Floyd and then with Von Miller and they got Aaron Donald and they got Gaines and you're like, oh, they got 4 pass rushers. Now you just play coverage. You don't need a blitz.
If anything, I would think
that helps your defense out in itself.
I think they should consider interior defensive line too, because I think that's a big presence in that and a weakness. That was a glaring weakness for this team last year, being one of the worst rush defenses in the league. So that's all I'm trying to say is that the Chargers have options. They look like they're being very aggressive in this offseason. And this is what it's been, ladies and gentlemen. And as the great Chip Diller said, Kevin Bacon from Animal House, all is well, remain calm. We are going to get through this in the situation of the absolute madness that is occurring throughout sports right now. With the NBA coming down to playoff time soon, the NFL and MLB free agency periods are going and they are running hot and running fast. Also, March Madness begins in just only a couple of days, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I should say officially tomorrow, but the actual tournament starts on Thursday. So there's a lot happening, and we haven't even talked about maybe the incoming news of another quarterback move in the NFL. So this is just the beginning to one of the crazier off seasons on sports. Well, that's what happens. Well, guess what, Ted? That's what happens right now when you get 2 years of sadness and quiet.
Well,
literally,
no, the free agency didn't change any of that.
Well, in the sense of, no, but I'm talking about just like for sports fans to see like all this moving fast.
Well,
fans back in fans back in stands and everybody. It's just everything's just going so fast, and it's a great thing to see right now. What's happening in sports to see everything just running fast and running at a high level too.
Well, here's my thing.
That's all I say.
You have baseball who had a lockout for 99 days. All right. So the baseball free agency is hectic right now because you got free agency going on when this would have all taken period during the winter meetings. And now you're trying to get spring training. I mean, things are hot and heavy. And then the football season, you got free agency, and it all kind of worked out where this week is also March Madness. So if
they're all intertwined, Ted.
And with NBA heating up with the last month of football, last month of basketball, you can't lose as a sports fan. Whatever sport you are a fan of, you cannot lose. Yep. And it's a win-win for all of us. And hopefully the weather starts getting warmer and we have a great weekend of sports. I mean, Tom Brady stole the show yesterday in the middle of the tournament selection going, yeah, I'm coming back. I mean, literally they cut to Adam Schefter and breaking news. Tom Brady.
If you're even a wrestling fan, I mean, you're loving it. It's WrestleMania time. Ted, for goodness sake, Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming back and fighting at WrestleMania. I heard the words of Ted Keys. I got to see WrestleMania now. Stone Cold is coming back.
So
it's crazy.
Kirk's deal is going to be around.
It's
4 years, $68 million.
4 years, $68 million.
17 per season.
Yep. How much guaranteed?
Not totally yet. Nothing done totally yet, but that's
well. They said they were well because I think they're going to move on for DJ Chark, who's got a very, very big market right now for teams that are in need of a receiver.
I think he's a free agent. I think
he is. No, he is a free agent. I think he's a very good receiver. I think he's a very
I was just reading about
receiver.
the Giants. The Giants are not going to go after anyone. They're saying they have no money.
Well, the Giants are screwed. This is what Dave Gettleman has put the Giants.
He literally put us in a hellhole.
Yeah, he will go down as one of the worst GMs, if not the worst GM in New York sports history. He has made this Giant team into a situation where they can't win. And well, we already seen rock bottom, so I don't think they could get any worse than the New York Giants have. And that's Dave Gettleman. I mean, what are you going to do? It's what happens when you have a crappy ass GM. All time the Giants, poor Joe Shane, that he has to fix this ultimate mess. A couple years ago, I was looking at my memory set on Facebook and saying, "Oh well, Dave Gettleman's got to fix Jerry Reese's mess." Well, that was just a little appetizer. That was a little appetizer to what Dave Gettleman did to the New York Giants.
He's worse.
Are you playing with? You got a little curl going or something? What are you doing with your hair, bro?
Yeah, bro. It curls. I can't do nothing about it.
That's what I do. That's what happens to my hair too. It's weird. It's weird. But ladies and gentlemen, there is so much going on in sports. We, like I said, with any breaking news, we are going to do our absolute best to be on. Ted, don't be yawning. Don't be going to sleep. Don't be going to sleep. This sports is putting you to sleep. Is sports putting you to sleep right now? How do you sleep at night?
I sleep actually really well.
That's what I'm trying to say. You're sleeping over here. How does a guy like Adam Schefter do it? Get with the program, Ted. Let's go. Sports is putting him to sleep. But like I said, what the best we're going to do, if any breaking news comes out, if a Deshaun Watson trade comes out, if a big baseball move comes out, we will do our absolute best to get on the airwaves and give you the latest news. Whatever happens, Ted, we'll do it from the phone. It won't be the first time.
It won't be the last.
It won't be the last time either, ladies and gentlemen. But Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We are out.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.